simplify things for you. If you keep the knees out, as you drive up, the weight will be kept on your heels, all your joints will stay aligned, and you'll be able to generate as much force as possible. Now, let's put the entire sequence together. Coming into the bar, you want to squeeze tight. As you dip under the bar, before you receive the bar, you want to squeeze your traps together, squeeze your shoulder blades together, more specifically. Receive the bar, get whole body tension, get out of the rack, everything flexed. Everything is really tight right now. If you stay here long enough, you'll get tired. But your entire body needs to be tight, rigid, one solid piece. You'll take a deep breath. Now I'm going to have to release mine so I can talk. Once you take your deep breath, you push your knees out, arch your back, and allow your torso to lean forward. You descend down to the bottom, keeping the knees pressed out, drive hard coming back to the hole. Now, without talking. Now I'm doing those with the pause. Now, to do them without a pause, pretty simple. You still want to lower under control, and when you get near the bottom position of the squat, you want to do a controlled rebound, as follows. Just like that. A quick note on breathing. You need to fill your lungs with as much air as possible. You want to pack it in. This will create intra-abdominal pressure, which will give you more stability. More stability is going to mean more leverage. The breath is held until you start coming up. Now, there's going to be, some trainees may have concerns about what that's going to do to their blood pressure. It'll be negligible because you're not holding the breath that long. As long as, and here is the caveat here, as long as you don't have blood pressure issues, it should be perfectly safe to do this as follows. Breathing out as you come up. Now, if you have blood pressure issues, you want to keep your whole body stability. You want to take in some air, but you're going to have to breathe throughout the set. I was talking throughout that one, but the breath cannot be held as long. Again, if you don't have blood pressure issues, the breath is held on the way down until you start coming back up. And get as much air in you as possible. You need to approach a set of squats, or any exercise for that matter, not as banging out a bunch of repetitions. You need to approach a set taking it one rep at a time. Each rep needs to be viewed as a workout unto itself. You need all your focus, all your concentration on that rep. Then you work on the next rep when you complete that rep. You must strive to perform each rep perfectly. My classification of performing a rep perfectly is the combination of great aggression with great technique, and concentration is what links those two. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean about taking it, give you a visual example of taking it rep by rep. Here's how a lot of people will approach a set of 5 reps. Now, what I prefer, and I've seen it deliver much more as far as in the way of quality results and prevention of injury, is to approach each rep one at a time, as follows. As you can see in the two examples, the first set I just banged out the 5 reps. In the second example, I took each rep one at a time, focusing maximum concentration on each rep. A good way to do that is to let your breathing be the guide. In between reps, when you're at the beginning position of squats, for instance, which is at the top, or any other exercise, beginning of any other exercise, the starting point, if you will, you take a big breath. You want to create inner abdominal pressure that I mentioned earlier. That signals the start of the rep. You perform the rep, you stop again at the beginning position, take another big breath. You don't rush that spot. You get another big breath, and then bam, you begin the next rep. You complete that rep. You stop, you take a big breath, and you go again, versus just banging out repetitions. Performing each exercise, performing a squat, 1 rep at a time, will allow you to really focus on that rep, to give it your most aggressive effort, linked with your best technique. I want to address knee issues, knee problems associated with the squat for a moment. First of all, if you're having problems with your knees, get to an orthopedic specialist to get your knees checked out and find out what's going on. What I want to address is what I've seen over the years, technique-wise, that has caused trainees various knee problems, particularly various types of tendonitis in the knee, as well as some other, let's say, other conditions that are a little more serious than tendonitis. What has basically caused these knee conditions are 2 biomechanical flaws. The first biomechanical problem I see is when a trainee is trying to maintain an upright back versus an arched back where you bend over, as was discussed earlier in the tape. When a trainee tries to maintain that upright back, the knees are forced to shoot forward, too far forward. And when I mean too far forward is they're exceeding what is known in physiology as the knee-toe line. The knee-toe line is an imaginary line that runs perpendicular to the floor straight up from the toe. And as the knee nears that line and then exceeds the line, the bad forces on the knee are increasing dramatically on the various knee structures. Now, there are some people who can not only exceed the line, but can exceed the line, or not only get up to the line, but exceed the line and get away with it and have no problems. They are the exception rather than the rule. Easily corrected situation. All you need to do is to make sure that instead of trying to maintain an upright back, you allow the body to bend over. Because when you allow the torso to bend over naturally, there's a seesaw effect that takes place. The hips and butt shoot back to compensate for the forward bend, to keep the bar in balance, in alignment, particularly straight over the mid part of the foot. So when that happens, as you can see, the knee is fairly well back from the knee-toe line, therefore really decreasing the bad stresses on the knee. So that's number 1. By allowing your body to naturally lean over, it'll keep the knee behind the knee-toe line. Now, the second problem is a lateral alignment of the knee. What a trainee will do if they're not aware of it is when they go to squat, they'll just allow the knees to go wherever they want to go as far as lateral movement. And what I'll see is that a trainee, when they get to the bottom, the knees will tuck in. When the knees tuck in like that, you're getting, again, bad forces on the knee joint. Simple solution is you got to press the knees out to the sides when you squat. Not only when you descend, but when you come back up. When you do this, the ankle, the knee, and the hip are all in perfect alignment, therefore decreasing the bad stresses on the knee. So again, what you need to do is to arch your back and allow your torso to bend over. That will keep the knee behind the knee-toe line. And when you descend, you must press your knees out to the sides and maintain that position. Those 2 corrections should eliminate any knee problems that were associated with the squat. Okay, let's talk about the proper use of a belt. I can't go into this beyond the scope of this video to give you my philosophy as far as when you should use a belt, when you should not use a belt, personal choices for competitive reasons, for injury prevention. I'll just give you my general thought is to use a belt. Use a belt when you are getting within at least 80% of your maximum weight. Again, it's a personal choice in a lot of situations. And again, it's beyond the scope of this video. What I want to really do is just show you how to put a belt on properly. A lot of people don't even know how to wear a belt properly, where it goes on the body, and exactly how tight you put it on. So let's go ahead and cover how to put a belt on, the proper use of a belt right now. First of all, you want to use a 4-inch belt, a belt that's 4 inches all the way around. Thickness, it doesn't really matter that much if you're a competitive lifter. I prefer something a little thicker than the real little thin, retail store-bought leather belts. Something, a 1/4 inch thick is pretty standard. You don't need to spend a lot of money and get leather belts. Again, that's a personal choice. A good old standard 4-inch powerlifting belt works just great. First of all, to put a belt on properly, it goes right around your stomach area. It's worn here. It's not worn like a regular belt down in this part of the body. It's got to be put on up here. So a lot of it sits right in the middle of your lumbar area. Although, and people misunderstand how a belt helps you, a belt really doesn't help you by creating pressure from behind and supporting the back this way. It does some. Most of that support needs to come from strong lower back muscles. A belt is supposed to actually help support the spine from the front. That's why you need a belt that's 4 inches all the way around, particularly wide in the front. The belts that are thinner in the front defeat the purpose of wearing a belt. A belt protects your spine by creating pressure on the anterior portion of the spine from right through here. As if you could reach in through your stomach and touch your spine, it's the pressure it creates this way. So when your belt, I'm not putting it on tight right now, I'll show you that in a second. But when a belt is on, the pressure, again, the support comes from here. Now, like I said, when it's on properly, I'll show you here in a second, it's much tighter. But what it does is when you descend into a squat, when you're doing an overhead press, your stomach will actually be trying to press out against the belt. The belt, especially when you take the big breath, the belt is going to press back in. It's not going to allow your stomach to push out. That pressure of holding it in against the belt, not only holding the tissue and the fluids in, but the air pressure that you just sucked in is going to create pressure and stability, again, on the anterior side of the spine, straight through here. Your lower back muscles do the work here. The belt does the work from the front. Now, how to put a belt on properly. If you can put a belt on the way I just did, then you are not getting it on tight enough. A belt should feel uncomfortable when you're wearing it properly, and you'll want to get it off right away. When you see these people walking around the gym with the belts on all the time, it's a joke. It's not for anything but show, I think. So here's how to put a belt on properly. You're going to need either a buddy or some kind of solid upright. Now this isn't the most solid thing in the world, but I'm going to stand on it and it's going to get the job done. What you want to do, first of all, is to wrap the belt around squat cage upright or some kind of upright, something solid, just like I'm doing here. You want to then inhale, suck your stomach in, make yourself as thin as possible when you try to put it on, when you are putting it on. You're sucked in. You put it in a hole, and now it's ready. Because now when you release, and you can tell here, even at less than 10% body fat, it looks like I'm fat. My stomach is pushing against the belt. I'm not trying to push it against the belt yet, but the belt's already starting to do its job by holding and creating more intra-abdominal pressure here to support the spine from this way. Now, if I want to really make the belt work and I take in my deep breath and then it's held, what will happen is my stomach will push, when I arch, my stomach will push out against the belt is pushing back, giving me unbelievable stability, the combination of lower back strength, oblique strength, abdominal strength, and then the pressure that is created between the air that I take in and the belt pushing back, not only against the air, but the tissues and fluids. You must go into your set right away, and then, again, worn properly, this will feel uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable right now. You can't go walking around your gym, around the gym with it on. So what you'll have to do as soon as the set's over, you will want to get it off right away. But that's where to properly wear a belt, how to properly put it on, and that's how a belt properly supports you. Let's quickly touch upon the subject of footwear. Pretty simple here. Unless you're an Olympic lifter, where there'll be cases where you will want a heel, the best way to squat is with virtually no heel, with a shoe that is as flat as possible. The two best that I've used with all of my experience in working with trainees are simple Chuck Taylor Converse. It's a flat shoe. It's got a little cushioning inside. It works perfectly. The other is a wrestling shoe. Those are the two that I always recommend. I don't recommend people squatting in just socks or slippers. I feel like if you can get some support laterally and in the ankle, I think it makes the lift safer. Although there are people that do it in slippers or socks, I just feel I'd rather have a measure of safety, plus the little bit of cushioning that you get, especially when handling large loads, from the cushion, the little bit of cushioning that's in here and in wrestling shoes. So really what you want is a shoe with no heel that can give you some ankle support. Chucks or wrestling shoes are the best in my opinion. As I said at the outset of this technical portion of the video, squatting is natural to movement. You already know how to squat. What has happened more than likely, and there's lots of reasons here, is that through study of it, misunderstanding or whatever, you've distorted or lost your natural ability to squat. What you need to focus on are the fundamentals of getting your natural ability back. Think of how you sit in a chair and how you get out of a chair. That is your perfect squat technique. The biggest things I want you to focus on when you go to relearn the squat or to clean up your squat is to allow your torso